paperwork.
And they still fuck with the rat. What you call them?
If you show somebody paperwork and the person who questioned my paperwork still with the person who wanted the paperwork you showed, what do we do then?
Stop talking to me. This ain't your restaurant. This ain't your restaurant. Everything you make, I can pull out my right now. I ain't tripping on you. I ain't tripping. Get the hell out of my face. I'm not talking to you. I'm not talking to you. Who the hell is he? What's your name? My name King.
Questioning you calling on the phone and talking on the phone with. Questioning you doing crime with. And questioning that you got the authorization to check.
Looks like King Harris ain't letting anyone play with his name, especially when that rat label gets thrown around in his pop's direction. The man's on edge, and word on the street is he's coming straight for Boosie after all that talk flying around. But hold up, let's take it back for a second. Remember when Boosie sat down with Vlad TV and flat out called T.I. a rat? He didn't stutter, didn't sugarcoat, he went all in. Boosie claimed T.I. himself admitted to working with the law, even saying he pinned something on his dead cousin just to skate free. That alone had the internet going wild. Folks looking at T.I. sideways like, wait, what did he just say? And Boosie wasn't done stirring the pot, not even close. He took it further, straight up canceling the joint album he and T.I. had cooking up. That whole project, gone overnight, just like that. Fans were hyped 1 minute, then blindsided the next. But I wasn't about to let that slide. He fired back saying Boosie had it all wrong, that the story was twisted, exaggerated, and taken way out of context. Tip said the so-called confession wasn't even real. It was just a what-if conversation, not some paperwork move in real life. Then Tip doubled down, saying he's got receipts, actual legal documents, proving he never snitched. And if that wasn't enough, he flipped the script right back on Boosie. Tip basically said, "You? Of all people? You got the nerve to call me out?" The energy was tense, the shade was heavy, and he even hinted that Boosie had his own skeletons rattling in the closet, whispers that he might have talked to dodge serious time. The streets were buzzing. And King Harris? He's watching it all unfold, ready to defend the family name at any cost. Then Boosie did what nobody saw coming. He spun the block and walked some of it back. He admitted he might have jumped the gun on calling Tip a rat before checking the full paperwork. It wasn't a full-blown apology, but you could tell he knew he came out swinging a little too hard without all the facts. Still, just when folks thought the tension might cool down, Boosie switched lanes again and turned the heat all the way up. Now he's claiming he's got a so-called snitch tape on Tip. Yeah, you heard that right. Boosie's out here saying there's audio proof that could certify Tip as paperwork official. And he didn't stop there. He dragged King Harris into it too, calling him a mini-me of his pops, labeling him a rat, a loudmouth, and a straight-up clout chaser. Things got even uglier when Boosie brought up King's 2024 fiasco, when the boy nearly crashed into a cop car with weed sitting right there in the open and a gun strapped to his hip. Like, that's not bad enough, right? To top it off, King was already sitting on an old warrant from 2022, speeding, driving on a suspended license, and a DUI that had been collecting dust until it came back to bite him hard. Word on the street now, King could be staring down the barrel of a 5-year sentence, which completely shatters that street life image he's been pushing online. And people aren't holding back either. Some say, I saw this coming miles away. He'd been warning King for years, even told him straight up back in 2022, if you don't slow down, the only classroom you're gonna learn in is a jail cell. But Boosie ain't buying that whole concerned father storyline. He's out here saying Tip's been the one fueling King's wild streak from day one, letting him run loose, unchecked, just for clout. And honestly, it's not hard to believe when you remember that infamous Waffle House meltdown. King was just 17, mouthing off and clowning employees on camera like he owned the place. Instead of checking him, Tip jumped online and defended him. Said when you're rich, you do what you want, and that the workers were just jealous because they didn't have King's lifestyle. That's when the internet went nuclear. People were dragging T.I. left and right, saying he failed as a parent. One person even wrote, so far, T.I. has completely failed at raising this kid. This is embarrassing. And just like that, the drama between the Harris family and Boosie turned from a music beef into a full-blown public circus. Another commenter didn't hold back, writing that T.I. raised King to think he's above regular folks, like the rules don't apply to him. They said, if that's what Tip calls fatherly guidance, then how's he gonna act like he's been trying to train his son now? The hypocrisy had people talking loud. But then things flipped again, because now folks got Boosie on blast too. They're saying he's in no position to be judging anybody's parenting when his own son, Tootie Raw, might be walking that same wild path. Word on the street is Tootie just got arrested down in Atlanta, hit with some heavy charges tied to illegal firearm possession. Reports claim he had a Glock tricked out with a switch and a few other serious gun violations. Witnesses say there was even a chase before he tried to ditch the cops by running into the woods. But they found him, and those weapons, real quick. The internet went crazy. One dude fired off saying, last time I checked, Boosie don't even have his own house under control. So how's a spade gonna call another spade? Another added, Boosie needs to keep his mouth shut about anyone's parenting. He's not exactly father of the year himself. The comments were ruthless. Nobody was holding back. Then came another wild twist. Whack 100 jumped into the mix during an interview, hinting that maybe Boosie's just mad because Tip might have been the one snitching on his people. Yeah, he actually threw out that possibility, adding a whole new layer of chaos to an already messy feud. So if Boosie's got his own fire burning at home, why is he out here clowning King Harris like his son isn't caught up in the same kind of trouble? This ain't just random shade, it's something way deeper. This is a grudge that's been brewing for years between Boosie and T.I., and King's just the latest spark setting it off again. See, this all goes way back. The tension first ignited when Boosie made those harsh, controversial comments about Dwyane Wade's daughter. That moment cracked open a rift that's only grown bigger and hotter ever since, and now the flames are roaring again. The internet came down hard on Boosie, flaming him left and right, calling him out as straight-up transphobic after those comments. And one of the loudest voices to check him, none other than T.I. himself. Tip hopped on Instagram and told Boosie to mind your business and stop worrying about another man's kids. That post hit millions of timelines, and just like that, the seed of this beef was planted deep. From that moment on, Boosie's been taking shots at Tip every single chance he gets, whether it's calling him a snitch in that old gun case, clowning his parenting, or mocking his family. He's kept that same energy. So when King messed up and made headlines, Boosie saw his moment to strike. He twisted that knife with precision. This wasn't about King anymore, it was about tearing down Tip's image piece by piece. That's why this whole thing stung so bad. Every single one of King's mistakes, the Waffle House meltdown, the arrests, even the messy paternity rumors, turned into ammunition. Not just against King, but against the entire Harris name. The internet doesn't forget anything, and Boosie knew exactly which buttons to push to keep the fire blazing. At the heart of it, King was never the real target. He was just the easiest one to hit. The real feud is between Boosie and T.I., two Southern heavyweights locked in a cold war of pride, power, and public image. For Boosie, clowning King was the ultimate move, a way to humiliate Tip without even mentioning his name. For Tip, every headline about his son feels like a dagger, another crack in the image he spent decades building. And for King, he's caught right in the middle, trying to prove he's his own man while the internet keeps turning him into a living meme. So now the real question is, how far can this feud go before it completely destroys what's left of both families' legacies? So what's really going on here? Is Boosie actually exposing some hidden truth? Or is this just another obsession, a long game to drag T.I. down every chance he gets? The streets are divided, and nobody can tell if this is about receipts or pure revenge. And what about King? Does he crumble under all this pressure, or does he finally flip the whole script and prove everybody wrong? The kid's standing at a crossroads, and whichever way he moves next could change everything for the Harris legacy. So tell me what you think. Is Boosie keeping it real or just keeping the beef alive for clout? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Don't just scroll past this heat. Lock in, smash that like button, hit subscribe, and turn on those notifications so you don't miss the next wild twist. Because the next jaw dropper, oh, it's loading up right now. Stay tuned.